Maria, she's 88, but she can understand.
Okay.
If you speak loudly, clearly.
Hare Krishna.
Not too quick.
Welcome to our Sunday program at ISKCON Antwerpen, and today we will speak about the power of transcendental inquiry, and we will read the verse from the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 2, text 5. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 2, Text 5. Munaya saduprishtoham bhavabdirlokamangalam yatkrita Krishna samprashno yenatma suprasidati. Munaya saduprishtoham bhavabdirlokamangalam yatkrita Krishna samprashno yenatma suprasidati. Munaya saduprishtoham bhavabdirlokamangalam yatkrita Krishna samprashno yenatma suprasidati. Translation. O sages, I have been justly questioned by you. Your questions are worthy because they relate to Lord Krishna and so are of relevance to the world's welfare. Only questions of this sort are capable of completely satisfying the self. Purport. Since it has been stated herein before that in the Bhagavatam the absolute truth is to be known, the questions of the sages of Anaimisharanya are proper and just because they pertain to Krishna, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the absolute truth. In Bhagavad Gita 15:15, the Personality of Godhead says that in all the Vedas there is nothing but the urge for searching after Him, Lord Krishna. Thus, the questions that pertain to Krishna are the sum and substance of all the Vedic inquiries. So we will read the purport bit by bit. There is some more here. Thank you. Everybody is searching for happiness. Everybody is searching for something. Everybody is searching for an ideal partner. And in the Vedas, it is said that all the inquiries, all the searches, Vedic inquiries, and all the searches that people might have for happiness, for the truth, for the perfection, are actually described in the Bhagavad Gita 15:15, where it is said, Vedaischa sarvair ahameva vedyo, Vedanta krit vedavit. How? Eva chaham. Krishna says that I am the goal of all the Vedas. The purpose of all the Vedas is to actually search for me and to discover me and to find me. So, this is Sutta Goswami speaking to the sages of Naimisharanya who have gathered together to do a huge yagya for the welfare of the whole world. So those who are saintly personalities, who are saints and sages throughout the ages, they have always thought about the welfare of everyone in this world. Devotees, they are always thinking how to benefit others. Prahlad Maharaj even prayed for his father, who was a demon, how he can actually be liberated. How he can be liberated. So the whole Bhagavatam is based on 6 questions, and after they have asked 6 questions, the sages of Naimisharanya, headed by Sri Shonaka Rishi, Sutta Goswami, who was the speaker, he thanked him and he praised their questions. If anyone asks you a good question, you should praise him. We see this again and again in the Bhagavatam repeated, that when somebody is asking a good question, the speaker thanks him and praises his question, because it gives the speaker opportunity to say something about the truth and about the perfection of life. The whole world is full of questions and answers. The birds, beasts, and men are all busy in the matter of perpetual questions and answers. In the morning, the birds in the nest become busy with questions and answers, and in the evening, also the same birds come back again and again become busy with questions and answers. The human being, unless he is fast asleep at night, is busy with questions and answers. The businessmen in the market are busy with questions and answers, and so also are the lawyers in the court and the students in the schools and colleges. The legislators in the parliament are also busy with questions and answers, and the politicians and the press representatives are all busy with questions and answers. Although they go on making such questions and answers for their whole lives, they are not at all satisfied. Satisfaction of the soul can only be obtained by questions and answers on the subject of Krishna, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, what is happening with our thinking process? When we are thinking, basically we are asking questions and trying to come up with some answers or to find out some answers. So the thinking process is consisted of questions and answers. Maybe before coming here you have asked, should I stay or should I go? Yes, I really want to know, should I stay or should I go? And fortunately, it's my fortune that you have decided to come and to be here for this program. You have missed a little bit the music part, but there will be later more music, more transcendental music. But you have come for the class, and important part of life are actually questions. We always ask questions, but it is said that the quality of the questions that we ask actually determines the quality of our lives. If we ask high-class questions, we can get high-class answers. If we ask low-class questions, we can get low-class answers. And we can actually, where do the questions come from? Questions come from the mindset that we have, from our level of consciousness, from the way we think, the way we see the world, from our beliefs. So if you have a mindset of a devotee, you will ask questions that actually devotee asks, usually. But if your mindset is a mindset of a conditioned soul, your questions will also be the questions of a conditioned soul. So we can roughly divide all questions in these two categories. One is questions that devotee asks, and another is questions that the conditioned soul asks. And throughout the Bhagavatam, throughout the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is asking many questions. I have a whole file only with Arjuna's questions. I can send it to you if you send me an email or a Facebook message. So we can learn what questions devotees ask, And usually devotees' questions are related to Krishna, to Krishna's pastimes, Krishna's form, name, nama, rupa, guna, lila, name, form, qualities and pastimes. And also they are related to our own purification, our own spiritual advancement. This is the questions that devotees ask. They want to clarify the doubts. They have different doubts, like Arjuna had some doubts, and he presented them sincerely and openly to Krishna. So if you have doubts, don't just let them eat you up from within, but inquire, clarify them with devotees who have more experience, or with your spiritual master, or even better, you can study Srila Prabhupada's teachings. Last time when I was here last year, we looked at the Vanipedia, Srila Prabhupada's encyclopedia, which is online encyclopedia of Srila Prabhupada's teachings. From the last year, they have done so much more work. There is categories, there is nectar drops. These are short, 1 minute Srila Prabhupada statements with transcribed and audio. So devotees have done so much so that we can actually hear Srila Prabhupada, even listen to him for 1 minute a day. Yesterday I had a seminar in Radharesh called The Power of Inner Dialogue, Your Inner Dialogue. So we were discussing how we talk to ourselves and how devotee should talk to himself or to herself. And one Mataji, who is a student at the Bhakti Shastri, she asked me about humility. What is humility? And now there is a whole category in Vanipedia about humility. You can learn what is humility. One thing that Srila Prabhupada says in the Bhagavad Gita about humility is that you never seek respect from others, and you are always ready to give respect to others, and you never want respect for yourself. But there is other also definitions, other descriptions of humility. So this is a whole category. It has a lot of quotes. So now we, as aspiring devotees or devotees, we are asking questions, and when we have a question, what should we do? I'm doing a lot of one-to-one with people, coaching, mentoring, counseling, giving advice, or simply listening and asking questions, helping devotees to think for themselves. I do this a lot. I do this for the past 18 years. And last couple of years, my habit was that when you ask me a question, the first thing I say is, let's see what Prabhupada said about this. Because now we have a database, now we have a Vanipedia, and we can easily and quickly access what Prabhupada said about a certain topic. The other day somebody asked me, what is perfect love? And I looked at the database, and Srila Prabhupada is speaking about perfect love. So we collected several quotes, and we got a picture. Like Vishnumurti Prabhu is always saying, don't look only at the quotes that you are looking for, but look at all the quotes and get a broad picture of what Prabhupada said about a certain topic. So when we have a question, we want first to see what Prabhupada said, then we can discuss how can we apply this to our everyday life. How can we apply this to our everyday life? How can we apply this to our relationships? How can we apply this to our work, to our daily service, to our sadhana, our self-discipline? How can we apply this? Honestly, sincerely, spiritually, how can we practice what is given as an instruction in the scriptures? So this is one way that we can deal with the questions that appear in our mind. Now, in the outside world, people want to enjoy the material world. And they have created amazing questions that will help them to clarify their path to enjoyment. And these same questions we can use for spiritual advancement. For example, I have learned from one coach who is not a spiritual coach, he's a business coach, an amazing question. Inspired by that question, I'm giving actually online for the past 5 days, 10 minutes a day, so it's not very much, a seminar called Excuses and Our Success. And so the question is like this, I want to share it with you. What would you like to have in your life? Excuses or results? How many of you want to have excuses, first-class excuses in your life? Nobody. There is one Sankirtan devotee who wants to have excuse to go out on Sankirtan. Then, how many of you would like to have results?
Oh, Krishna.
Everybody, but some are a little bit lazy to raise their hand. So, okay, now, what we are good at?
Excuses.
We are good at making excuses. How many of you consider yourself to be an expert in making excuses? Wow, there was like 7-8 hands. Devotees on the internet cannot see this, so I have to say it. 7-8 hands. We have some experts in making excuses. How many experts we have in achieving results? If you are a good cook, results. Okay, you are very humble, very shy, you don't want to raise your hand, but I know there is experts here in this room that you can set a goal and achieve results. You can do that. If you decide to cook something, it will happen. Like this devotee is there. So, this is an amazing question. If you ask this question every day, it will be very difficult to make excuses. Very difficult. What are your top excuses? No time. I'm not qualified. One of the best excuses I have seen in ISKCON is I'm not qualified. Sounds familiar? Prabhu, can you give Sunday class? Oh, I'm not qualified, sorry. I will sit in the back and wait for prasada. So, this one question can change your life if you use it every day. Another very difficult question that I ask everybody, as a life coach, I ask everybody, what do you want? Oh, that's a difficult question. I want so many things. Now, if you don't know what you want, even God cannot help you. Imagine you come to God, mighty Lord, please. And He says, what? And you say, I'm not sure. But they tell me to pray to you. And He said, okay, but what are you praying for? Happiness. Oh, that's vague. Happiness. What kind of happiness? What kind of happiness you want? I don't know. I just want to be happy. I don't want to be unhappy. So if you specifically request something, mighty Lord, please help me to get €1,000,000 for Krishna. Then He might consider this, if you are specific. So always be specific with Krishna, because He is very specific. Look at the Shastra. Krishna is never vague. He is always specific. So ask very specific questions. Don't ask too general questions. So as we said, when we ask a question, the first question is what Prabhupada said about it. Now another thing you can do when you start any project, supposedly you have Krishna conscious projects. If you start a Krishna conscious project, you ask yourself, what Krishna conscious questions should I ask myself before I start this project, and write them down. And then look, okay, how can I do this in a Krishna conscious way? How can I do this in a Krishna conscious way? Who can help me in a Krishna conscious way? And you create 5-10 questions, and when you have these questions, you will have better answers, and your action will be much easier. Your action will be much easier. Einstein said, if you drink water during the lecture, your throat will not suffocate. I'm joking. I'm joking, he didn't say that. Einstein said, if you give me a problem that my life depends on, I have 1 hour to solve it. I will spend 55 minutes looking for the right questions and I will solve it in 5 minutes. So Einstein, who was a genius, valued questions so much. So can you imagine? He said, if you give me a problem on which my life would depend on to solve, or somebody else's life, I would spend 55 minutes looking for the right questions and I would solve it in 5 minutes. You understand? He would spend 55 minutes thinking about the best questions that he can ask himself that will help him to solve this problem, and then it will be easy to solve the problem when you have good questions. So he valued questions so much. In our tradition, Adhato Brahma Jigyasa, now therefore that we are in a human form of life, is the time to inquire about the absolute truth. Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te gyanam gyanina statva darshinaha. One should approach a spiritual master with a service attitude and inquire. Inquire. In the beginning, we have a tendency to ask the spiritual master, how is it the universe is come out of the pores of Mahavishnu? So how will this question help us to make spiritual advancement? Another devotee comes and says, my dear Guru Maharaj, how can I hear my rounds better? This is a good question. You cannot understand how universes are coming out of the pores of Mahavishnu, but you can understand how to listen better to the holy name, how to chant attentively, how to chant sincerely, in a proper mood, and practice. So asking, here it is mentioned, relevant questions, very important, worthy questions, relevant questions. Krishna is our most intimate master, friend, father or son, an object of conjugal love. Forgetting Krishna, we have created so many objects of questions and answers, but none of them are able to give us complete satisfaction. So maybe you have seen on YouTube tests for CIA agents. How many of you have seen that? No? So there is a test, 10-15 minutes. They give you part of the CIA agent tests. So these are tests how smart you are. You know, they give you some problem and you have to solve it. And now imagine you are very good at that and you solve it. And then what's the result of this? You become proud. Wow, I have solved CIA questions. That's amazing. I mean, I'm amazing. So this question gave a temporary pride, gave a temporary feeling of satisfaction to a person who has a little bit of intelligence, but it didn't satisfy the soul. So Srila Prabhupada says, only questions and answers on the topic of the absolute truth, Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, can completely satisfy the soul. What are the questions that you are asking yourself every day? What will I eat today? How can I make money today? How will I finish my rounds today? How can I deal with this friend who has become inimical, is not friend anymore? So many things you are facing in your life and you are asking yourself questions about this. But I will give you one question that can also change your life if you use it every day, that every problem is an opportunity. So what opportunity lies in this problem that you face? Today I missed the first train to Brussels or Antwerp, and I was sorry that I had to wait another hour and I have to somehow get through information to devotees who are supposed to pick me up. And I didn't have internet connection, so I tried somehow. And I remember this question that I'm teaching for the past 15 years, what problem, what opportunity lies in the problem that I have been late? I will be late for 1 hour. Yes?
Become patient.
Yes? Become patient. What else? If you would be late, like me, today, what would you think? What opportunities are there?
How can I tell the devotees?
Oh yes, how can I inform the devotees?
Get
Yes?
more spare time. Take more time to leave.
Take more time to do what?
Get up earlier.
Get up earlier.
Yeah, leave sooner.
Oh, I got up very, very early, but the devotee who picked me up, who drove me to the station, he came relatively late. It wasn't not my
It wasn't your fault.
my getting up late.
Make from the time your friend, not your enemy.
Excuse me?
Make from the time your friend.
How?
Yes. Love it.
Which time?
Love the time.
Which
Not
time?
the time we've created. You know, it's an invention.
Very nice. I like this. So the time that I have now, 1 extra hour, what shall I do with it? So somebody told me that, oh, you have more time for chanting, for reading.
You can become tolerant then. The ones who are waiting for you, they learn to become tolerant.
This is their opportunity. I'm looking into my opportunity.
Okay.
You can realize how actually ultimately we are helpless. We have to depend on Krishna.
Very nice. We can realize that ultimately we are helpless and we can depend on Krishna. It was 1 minute. It was very short time, a few seconds actually, and I couldn't control it. I just sat and take one breath in, and there was on the platform there was a train. And I said, "Oh, I didn't know it's already 8:47." So then I took a deep breath and get back to the waiting room, try to find the internet connection. And still, for some minutes I was in anxiety, but then I started asking myself questions, remember this opportunity. And then everything became different. I just started to chant and I said, okay, I'm going to catch the next train, which is in 1 hour. And I had a very nice time on the train. The conductor helped me to understand where to catch the train because I lost my itinerary. So where to catch the train for Antwerp and what time. He was very kind. And I could read the Bhagavatam also. And somehow devotees, you got information, isn't it? Yeah. Your wife.
We got information that you would come 1 hour later.
Yes.
But then we had to negotiate with the driver who wanted to pick you up. So there was a little difficulty in that. So there was some anxiety there.
Yeah. I accept full responsibility for this and I want to pay you in some way.
But at the same time we can learn, like you said, surrender to fate. But sometimes by fate we miss a train and then the train could have an accident or whatever. So of course it's a good excuse for yourself, but fate is also like this. Like Purushottam said, we have to surrender ultimately to what Krishna is in control.
This also happens. You miss a train and train crashes. This also happens, but I don't think my train crashed. But it's okay. Yes.
I have a question. What about the practical side? You need to leave on a certain time because in this material world they have a time schedule for the train. You can leave in the hand of your God. But we need to be practical. So how do we mix that?
How do what?
How do we mix this?
Come
It's a
earlier.
schedule. So
Come earlier.
yeah.
Or take the next.
Yeah, I took the next.
There's an expression in Africa from our friends there, and they say, it's in French maybe, vous avez l'heure, nous avons le temps. It will say, you have the time with the watch, and we have the other time too, not depending on the time that's
Interesting.
We have the time.
Yeah, like this.
Okay.
You have a watch, but we have time.
yes. Some people are they translate.
Okay, so anyway, I just wanted to give you this question that you can use when you face any problem. You can ask yourself, okay, what opportunities are here, hidden opportunities in this problem? and then you can see it from another angle. You don't always have to see it as a source of anxiety if you face some difficulty or obstacle or a problem. So you can see it as an opportunity. At least I think 50% of the anxiety will go away if you ask this question: what opportunities, what are the hidden blessings in this situation? What are the hidden blessings? Okay, so let's see. All things but Krishna give temporary satisfaction only. So if we are to have complete satisfaction, we must take to the questions and answers about Krishna. We cannot live for a moment without being questioned and without giving answers. Because the Srimad Bhagavatam deals with questions and answers that are related to Krishna, we can derive the highest satisfaction only by reading this transcendental literature. One should learn the Srimad Bhagavatam and make an all-around solution to all problems pertaining to social, political, or religious matters. Srimad Bhagavatam and Krishna are the sum total of all things. So now, a little practical tool that you can use to help you in your life, to help you think more clearly, to help you even think more intelligently, is to create your own personal daily questions. What these questions would cover, your personal daily questions, they would cover the most important areas of your life. For example, I believe that for most of you, what is important is your mantra meditation. So one question can be, how will I chant my rounds and when during the day? How do you want to show Krishna that you are serious about your japa? How will you show Krishna? Imagine you come in front of Krishna and you tell Krishna, Krishna, I'm serious about my japa. And Krishna says, really? But I see you chanting everywhere and at all times, 16 rounds. So you're chanting a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit looking at the phone, a little bit looking at the sky, a little bit eating in between rounds, a little bit sleeping in between rounds, a little bit talking in between rounds, answering phone calls in between rounds. And you think you will convince Krishna that you are serious about your japa? With this kind of chanting? No, one who is serious about his japa, he chants 16 rounds in one go first thing in the morning. And then Krishna says, this is japa. Now you have a full, powerful day. You can do anything for me if you do this. Srila Prabhupada once, Shrutakirti Prabhu, his personal servant, he said, Srila Prabhupada once finished 16 rounds and put his beads and said, now I can do anything, any damn thing. Prabhupada said, I can do anything. Now I want to shock you a little bit. Yamuna Mataji, do you know who is Yamuna? Who knows who is Yamuna? Govindam Adipurusham. This is Yamuna. She sings this song. She left her body. So she asked Srila Prabhupada, what is the best time to chant japa? Prabhupada said, before Mangalarti. 16 rounds, before Mangalarti. He did it himself. So by 4:30 you finish 16 rounds. How many of you have once in your lifetime done this? Wow. 3, 4, 5. Amazing. At least you can finish some rounds before Mangalarti. If you get up at 3, 3:30. Lord Chaitanya, I heard, got up at 3:30. So at least we can get up at 3:31. Or maybe at 3, because servant gets up earlier than the master to prepare to serve him. And you can see, this is such a beautiful experience to chant before Mangalarti something and then later, and you finish by 7. Some devotees have promised to themselves that they will finish by 7. Some devotees have promised that they will finish by 10. And some devotees I mean, there is a devotee in Bangladesh, he finishes who before 4, sometimes before 3:30. Hmm?
What time he takes rest?
I have to ask him. Probably early, yeah, I think early. So, if you ask yourself, how will I show Krishna that I'm serious about my japa, then you can have some nice plan how to improve the quality of your chanting. So that's one thing that can be in your daily questions. Another question, have I been nice to my wife today? I mean, in the evening you can ask. Or husband, to be fair. Did I do something nice for my children? Did I make a difference in someone's life? Positive difference. So have I given Krishna consciousness to someone? Have I given Srila Prabhupada's books to someone today? Now it's Prabhupada Marathon. So you can ask these questions, and if you ask these questions, you will remind yourself of what is important to you, what is important to Srila Prabhupada, what is important to this mission, and what will also earn you spiritual credits. Your spiritual bank account will grow if you distribute Prabhupada's books, for sure. So another question can be, have I been taking care of my health properly, because I want to be responsible towards my body? Am I eating something I'm not supposed to eat? Am I eating too much or too little? Do I move enough? Very few people move enough. Very few. They say sitting is new smoking. Have you heard that? Sitting is new smoking. You are all sitting now. You can get up. I have to sit. Maybe I can also get up. So, if you have your daily questions every day, at the end of the day you can check. Have I done the most important things in my life today? And you can check, or somebody else can check with you, your friend. You can check each other. You can exchange questions. This is one practical tool that you can use with Krishna conscious questions. And you can try to create super inspiring questions for you. So now, please think of one question that will really inspire you if you would ask yourself every day. Any volunteers? Yes?
Did I share Krishna consciousness
Jai.
with somebody or Prabhupada's existence with somebody?
What is your question?
Did I share Krishna consciousness and Srila Prabhupada with somebody?
Did I share Krishna consciousness and Srila Prabhupada with somebody today? This is an excellent question. This is an excellent question. Did I share Krishna consciousness and Srila Prabhupada today? Any other? Yes?
In our bathroom hangs a quote of Srila Prabhupada, and it said first health, then sadhana, and then service. So that could be a question: did I take, like you said, take care of my health? Did I take proper sadhana? Did I read Srila Prabhupada's books? And also, did I do enough practical service for Srila Prabhupada?
Okay. So, I will repeat. There is Srila Prabhupada's quote which speaks about the order of importance of things in our life: health, sadhana, service. And from this statement, from this quote, one can create questions. Did I take care of my health? Did I take care of my sadhana? And how was my service today?
And what's sadhana?
Sadhana. A sadhana is daily practice of Krishna consciousness, chanting japa in the morning, guru puja, mangalarati, class, morning program, reading, personal reading. So from 4:30 to 8:30 we have morning program, and personal reading can be after that. So this is sadhana, and our personal japa, personal meditation is there. So you can, whatever is important to you, you can create questions based on this, and then ask yourself. And in this way, you show Krishna that you are very serious. You remind yourself by these questions about what is important to you, and you are checking whether you have done it because you want to do it, or you ask someone else to check it. I encourage devotees to create success partnerships between each other. You can find a friend and you have the two-way exchange where you give each other these questions and then have a session and then go through all the questions. So imagine every day somebody is asking you your own questions that you want, that cover the most important areas of your life. This means you are very serious about spiritual life. You're very serious. You want to practice seriously and you want to check how it is going. This is called training. So questions are excellent for training. And if you find yourself in trouble, you have to ask questions. When I came to Brussels with the train today, Brussels, Luxembourg, I was expecting conductor to come, but he didn't come all the way to Antwerp. So I was expecting him to come and to ask him, how can I get a train to Antwerp and which of the Brussels stations I should get off. And he didn't appear, so I decided to find him. I was asking myself that where should I get off? And I didn't know the answer, so I had to ask. And I found him. He was sitting comfortably somewhere in one of the coaches in front. And he was so helpful. He jumped. He took his little gadget and said, I want to be sure I give you good information. Or also with one Prabhu from Radhadesh, we went to Brussels. To Brussels, we had a program last Sunday in Brussels, and I didn't go on Harinam because my program started earlier, and there were 75,000 people protesting against fuel prices, and devotees made Harinam. And when we were coming back, the gas was going down in the car, and that was a temple car, but Prabhu didn't know how to pump the gas because it's a new, how you call this thing?
Locker?
Gas locker or whatever.
It's a gas car.
Not gas, benzene, not gas, but we call it gas in English. We don't say
Fuel stop.
it's huh?
Fuel stop.
Yeah, fuel hole. Where you put the fuel for the car, and we tried different things, pushed, but you can't push it with your finger, you have to push it with this thing. So we were helpless. He was calling devotees because they would explain to him, devotees who drive that car, they didn't pick up the phone. And I saw one man pumping benzene into his car, and I made an amazing decision to ask him, excuse me, can you help us? We don't know how to pump the fuel. He said, it will be my pleasure. Park the car, come back. He says, I have exactly the same car, exactly the same hole. And he explained, and now, from now on forever, this Prabhu knows how to pump the fuel. Why? Because we asked. So how can we learn anything in life? By asking. Now you may say, are you stupid? You are telling us this such a common sense thing that, even a small child knows. This is almost insulting. But I'm telling you one thing, if you check how much you are using the power of questions in your life to make your life better, to make your service better, to make your sadhana better, I'm sure you could be using much, much more than you do. Because questions are a habit that we should develop consciously. With better questions, we will have better answers and better spiritual life. Believe me, it works. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you.
So do you have any questions about questions?
And one question would be that why we don't ask questions?
Excellent question. I will repeat because
Why we don't ask questions?
yeah, why we don't ask questions?
You already know.
Because we think we already know. There was an answer from the devotees. Why we don't ask questions? Maybe we didn't develop a habit. Maybe we don't know that it's so useful. We are not convinced about the benefits. When we are convinced about the benefits, we can start testing. But it's an excellent question. Yes?
Some people they have questions but they don't dare to ask a question. They
Oh.
feel shy. Huh?
Oh.
Like in an assembly like here, they feel shy to raise their hand and to speak out. So that could be one reason. Another reason is like that they don't want to show, or that people don't want to show their ignorance.
They don't know, yeah.
Yeah, you laugh a lot.
Okay, so Purnatat Prabhu is speaking about asking questions publicly. He said people don't dare to ask questions because maybe they don't want to show their ignorance. So this is a wonderful, but this is also relevant to asking ourselves bold questions. Can I ask myself the question, what are my top excuses? This is a bold question. Top excuses. How do you say excuses in Dutch?
Excuses.
Top excuses.
Excuses.
Same words.
Same. That's fantastic.
There's another word, verontschuldigingen, but that is a little bit.
Verontschuldigingen.
Okay. Schuldigen.
There's also smoesjes.
There is, you see, in Dutch, you have 5 words for excuses. That's amazing. This means that the art of excuses is quite developed.
If the excuse is not valid, then it's called a smoesje. It's a nice story for it, but it's actually not really.
Okay. Anyway, so bold questions. Bold question is why I'm not changing faster than I do. Why I'm not advancing faster. Sometimes we approach a devotee and ask, Prabhu, tell me what are my faults. And then he says, are you sure you want to hear? So this is a very good point. We should ask bold questions, yes?
Ekanista Adhikari devotee has to associate with Madhyama Adhikari devotees to be able to ask questions, to get inspired to ask questions. And Madhyama Adhikari has to associate with Uttama and with Madhyama Adhikari.
Mm-hmm.
And so don't do that. Kanista Adhikari say the only question about, we don't want to tell what the question. That's not a good idea.
Maybe you can translate those words in the question. Like some people don't know kanista, madhyama.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
No. You can speak it easy.
You can explain.
Well, Kanista Adhikari, that means someone who just came, who just started devotional service. And Madhyama Adhikari means somebody who was more spiritually advanced. You can go in detail also.
Just briefly.
Briefly. And then, so we should associate with persons who are more advanced, more experienced. Then we also get the enthusiasm and the inspiration to ask questions, also to also get that, to also get those realizations, to also have that happiness that they experience.
This is a very important point. This is also in the Shastra, that we should learn from those who are more experienced. But there is always something to learn from anyone. Even we can learn from those who are less experienced, but especially Shastra recommends, there is in the Upadeshamrita, Nectar of Instruction, it is said that 6 loving exchanges between devotees are giving gifts, receiving gifts, giving prasadam, receiving prasadam, and confidential inquiry and confidential revelation. So this is also in Rupa Goswami's instruction to inquire Srila Prabhupada explains, inquire from those who are more experienced, so we can learn. Okay, who has the best question, last question? Or it doesn't have to be last, but yes?
How can you know if the question you are asking yourself are high quality questions?
This is an excellent question. Thank you. As I said in the beginning, when we get an excellent question, we should thank. And most of your questions are excellent. How do we know that the question we want to ask is a high quality question? Actually, the answer to that question is given in today's verse and the purport. Sutta Goswami says that questions which are related to Krishna are the only questions that can satisfy the self. So these are the highest quality questions. But questions that are related to our spiritual advancement, to our overcoming obstacles, to our Krishna conscious behavior, relationships, they are all high quality questions also. They are all Krishna conscious questions. But, for example, I'm sure that all of you sometimes ask this question, how can I please Krishna? How can I please my spiritual master? How can I serve devotees? How can I please devotees? How can I support devotees? So I was thinking today at the station, waiting for a train to Brussels, that we don't only give knowledge, we Hare Krishnas. We give also support. Not only knowledge. If you go to the university, you have a teacher who is teaching something that he doesn't live. This is the advantage of a devotee, that what he teaches, he lives, he practices, or he should practice what he preaches. And another thing, he is ready to support people on their spiritual path. So we give knowledge, amazing knowledge that we have learned from Srila Prabhupada and from other acharyas, but we also give our heart and support to people. We want to help them, we want to give them support. So this is what Srila Prabhupada had also given to us, not only knowledge, but love and support.
So, good point you've made, like of the support, but I have also realized, I have a realization that because of the Varnashram Dharma system, that different devotees have different qualifications. And I wrote down this morning also, I'm not a teacher, but I'm a messenger. You see, so some devotees have the qualification to teach, and some devotees have not this qualification. They don't feel like I want to be a teacher, but I want to be a simple messenger, or I want to simply work for. So in that way we can support in different ways.
Yes.
But not only by teaching, because some devotees feel not like inclined to give class or to support a new person who's coming. And some people, like my wife, she is very much like interested in socializing with people and helping them, but I don't feel like that, you know. She's like a mother, and I don't feel like
The father.
this.
You see, according to our nature, we can engage, but the greatest teaching is teaching by example. This is the foundation of all teaching. Even if you don't teach so much with your words, but if you teach by example, that's a great help, and that's also support. But we also want, apart from the words that we give to people, we want to give them practical support sometimes. Sometimes it's financial support, sometimes it's helping them paint their walls. Or, I used to talk a lot, but nowadays I also try to help in a practical way to devotees. Like if some make arrangement, or maybe they want to travel something, collect money, okay, how can we do that? Let's do it together, things like that. So there are so many ways we can give support, not only by words and by teaching. Yes?
I want to ask that he said by teaching or simply doing something else, but I think it can be very worthwhile to take care of a person.
Yeah.
So, but is there a way, is there skills?
Skills?
Yeah, is one thing more worth than the other thing?
It's all valuable. It's all valuable. Sometimes even it's more valuable practical help and like how you say emotional support than words. Sometimes words they don't even help.
Don't even can.
Sometimes if you can't. I know one leader. He always had tissues. Because I was with him, because he was a brahmachari, I was with him when he talks to ladies, and he always had tissues. This is such a sensitive thing. I mean, so if the lady starts to cry, which was often the case, he wouldn't preach. Oh, come on, don't cry, But he would just give her a tissue, and she would wipe up her tears, and I heard that crying can make you smarter. Have you heard about this? Crying. Well, after you are crying, it's a little bit like more clearer the mind. You can think more clearly. So any service is transcendental. Any service is valuable. Any service is golden or precious, and according to your nature, you can serve devotees and make a wonderful contribution. Okay, you and then you, yes.
Sometimes we inquire, we ask questions, but for example to Krishna, but we do not hear the answer. Does it mean we have to ask better or learn to hear better? Or
What did you say the last?
do we have to learn to hear better also?
This is genius. This is genius. I'm so happy. I had so many difficulties to come here, but I made it because I'm learning from you. Fantastic. He said, I'm also repeating for the devotees who watch on the internet, that we sometimes ask Krishna a question, but can we hear the answer? Or if we ask anyone a question, can we hear the answer? Can we work on it? I mean, apply what we have heard? Can we learn from this? And we can ask so many questions, but we also have to hear the answers and do something about the answers. This is excellent. Thank you so much. You will get a gift later, but also others. Yes?
I was thinking that, the verse in the Upasamrita,
Louder.
The verse in the Upasamrita is telling that we should share gifts and receive gifts, share prasad and also give prasad, and also reveal our mind in confidence, and also listen to others, revealing their mind in confidence. Because we are in this material world, we have many weaknesses, we have many problems emotionally. So it is very important then that we know that if we reveal our mind in confidence to a trusted friend or to a devotee, that not 1 week later it is all over the internet, for example,
Yes.
or that everyone else knows that.
Confidentiality, yes.
It is very important to know that I can trust this devotee, I can trust this person, because otherwise how will we grow? How anyone will grow if you cannot trust one another?
Yeah.
It's very important.
So, I will repeat that the devotee from the audience mentioned the 6 loving exchanges between devotees, and 2 of them are confidential inquiry and confidential revelation. And it's very important that the conversations are confidential. That means that they are not publicized all over the internet, and that there is a trust. That there is trust, that we can trust that someone will keep something confidential. Okay, thank you very much. I wish you all the best. I have here stickers. If anybody wants a sticker, I can give you a sticker. Goranga stickers.
Oh,
And
yes, I want. We can share. I can give you one back.
I have like this.
Can I get one?
Yes.
Please.
Okay, I need you.
Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you so much.
Eentje mee.
Yeah.
Say something, little thing.